I still remember the way my heart fluttered as I drove through the city that evening. It was Valentine's Day, and I wanted to do something truly special for the man I loved more than anything. My name is Elena, and for 8 years, David had been my entire world. We met in college, built a beautiful home together, and I truly believed we were the couple everyone envied. I had planned the perfect surprise. He told me he had to work late on a big project for his company. So instead of waiting at home with takeout and candles, I decided to show up at his office with his favorite dinner, a bottle of champagne, and the new watch I'd saved for months to buy him. I even wore the red dress he always said made me look irresistible. The building was mostly dark when I arrived, but I could see the light still on in the executive suite on the top floor. I smiled to myself. He's working so hard, I thought. I took the elevator up, my heels clicking softly against the marble floor. My hands were shaking with excitement as I balanced the basket and gently pushed open the glass door. That's when I heard it. Soft music, laughter, and David's voice. Low and tender in a way I hadn't heard in years. But what I didn't know that day was that my entire life was about to shatter into a million pieces. I froze just outside the conference room. The door was slightly ajar. Through the small opening, I saw everything. David was down on one knee, holding a small velvet box, looking up at her. Victoria, his CEO, the woman who had promoted him twice in the last year. She was smiling down at him, radiant in a sleek black dress, her hand resting on his shoulder. Victoria. "Will you make me the happiest man alive?" he asked, his voice thick with emotion. Tears burned my eyes instantly. The basket slipped from my fingers, and the champagne bottle hit the floor with a loud crash. Both of them turned toward the sound. David's face went pale. Victoria's eyes widened in shock. "Elena?" David whispered, standing up so fast he nearly knocked the ring box out of his own hand. I couldn't speak. My legs felt like they belonged to someone else. All I could do was stare at the man I had built my dreams around, now offering forever to someone else on the very day we were supposed to celebrate our love. I don't remember how I got back to the car that night. The drive home was a blur of tears and broken sobs. Everything we had built felt like a lie in a single moment. The photos on our walls, the vacations we took, the late-night talks about starting a family, all of it suddenly felt fake. The next few days were the hardest. David came home begging, crying, telling me it wasn't what it looked like. He claimed it was just a moment of weakness, that Victoria had been pressuring him because of a big promotion. But the messages I found on his second phone told a completely different story. Months of secret dates, hotel receipts. Even a weekend trip, he told me, was a team-building event. I was completely shattered. Nights were the worst. I would lie awake replaying every sweet moment we shared, wondering which ones were real and which were just cover. The betrayal cut so deep I could barely breathe. How could the person who promised to protect my heart be the one to destroy it? But somewhere in the middle of all that pain, something inside me began to shift. The tears slowly turned into quiet anger. Then the anger turned into clarity. I realized I had given this man every piece of myself, while he was building a secret life behind my back. I refused to let this break me forever. I started documenting everything. Screenshots, bank statements showing money moved into an account I never knew about. Even recordings of the voicemails he left when he thought I was too emotional to check my phone. Victoria's company had strict policies about relationships between executives and direct reports. And David had been lying to both of us. The more I learned, the stronger I felt. I stopped crying in front of him. I started smiling again, not because I was happy, but because I was planning. I went to therapy, not to save the marriage, but to save myself. I spoke to a lawyer quietly. I prepared. David thought I was forgiving him. He kept saying, "We can work through this, baby. It was just a mistake." But every time he touched me, I felt nothing but ice. The man I once loved had become a stranger wearing my husband's face. 3 weeks later, I made my move on a sunny Monday morning. Victoria's company was having its quarterly all-hands meeting. I dressed carefully, professional but powerful. I walked into the building with a folder in my hand and a quiet confidence I hadn't felt leadership of this company. I began sharing the evidence, not with rage, but with calm dignity. The affair, the lies, the misuse of company resources, the secret proposal on Valentine's Day. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Phones came out. David's face turned ghostly white. Victoria looked like she wanted the floor to swallow her. Security eventually escorted me out, but the damage was done. The board launched an immediate investigation. Within days, both David and Victoria were placed on administrative leave. The scandal made local business news. David's reputation was destroyed, and the promotion he had sold his soul for disappeared overnight. He came home that night begging for forgiveness again, but I had already changed the locks. The divorce papers were waiting on the kitchen counter. I told him calmly, "You chose her on the day that was supposed to be about us. Now live with that choice." Watching him leave with his suitcase broken and exposed didn't bring me joy. It brought me closure. I finally understood that revenge isn't always loud and dramatic. Sometimes it's simply refusing to let someone destroy you and choosing to rebuild your life with grace and strength. Today, I'm living in a new apartment filled with light. I've started painting again, something I gave up years ago to support David's career. I smile more. I laugh louder. And I've learned the most important lesson of my life. Never dim your light to make someone else feel comfortable. When people show you who they truly are, believe them the first time. And never be afraid to choose yourself, even when it hurts. Because on the other side of betrayal, there is freedom. And it's more beautiful than any lie they ever told you. Thank you for being here with me. If you've ever been betrayed, know that you're not alone. Your healing is coming. Your comeback will be even sweeter.